Hello. So recently I got into the Ninja Gaiden series. I played and finished the first game, I loved it, even reviewed it on my channel. And just now I finished Ninja Gaiden 2. So just like with the first game, I'm going to do the same. So let's get right into it. But quick FYI, I played the newest version of this game, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, that just came out recently. I have not played Sigma or the original, and man, I don't know what the difference is between those versions, leave me alone. So I heard people complain about enemy spawns or something, I don't know. I'm reviewing this on my own personal experience, so let's get into it. And spoiler alert, I guess, because this is technically the new version of the game, so a lot of people might be playing this for the first time right now. But okay, just like the first game, I'll start off with the story, still being, in my opinion, the least important aspect of these games. But I will say I was way more invested in the story of this game than I was during the first. The gist of the story is that Ryu meets this woman called Sonia who gets kidnapped in the first 30 seconds of this game. So Ryu has to rescue her. Peak opening level, by the way, loved it. But anyway, she tells Ryu that they were tracking him because, well, the world is in danger. You see, this guy and this woman stole the dragon statue from the Hayabusa village. Swear to God, that place gets invaded every month. Mr. Ryu, I'm afraid to say your village is under attack again. Are you kidding me? It's the 4th time this week. It's Monday. Exactly! Anyway, they want to awake the Archfiend, which is like a fiend but big, and Ryu has to stop it from happening, and Ryu spends a good portion of the game chasing down Elizabeth, aka this woman, trying to retrieve the statue, and gets wrapped into a lot of stuff while doing so, such as these wolf dudes taking over the city, or a massive plane that we end up blowing up, all kinds of good stuff. Then there's Genshin, aka this guy, who is part of this, and ends up having a change of heart after Ryu kills him, and gives me his sword. Anyway, Ryu kills Elizabeth, goes to the underworld, kills this guy, defeats the Archfiend, boom, world saved. Worst plot summary of all time, but seriously, I did enjoy the plot of this game a lot more than I did the first one. But alright, story time over, time for the good stuff. The gameplay is peak. I loved everything. But quickly I want to mention the difficulty because I do want to say something about it. I played the first game on normal, right? And I got owned a lot. I played this game on hard. And I never got stuck on a fight or boss the same way I did like in the first. In the first game I get stuck on a boss for hours, while here 6 or 7 attempts max. A lot of the fights I first or second tried too. And I definitely did not improve in the series. If I went back to the first, I would get destroyed. This game on hard was way easier than the first one on normal. Although I am confident that if I went to play this on Master Ninja right now, I would get smashed. So yeah. But okay, let's actually talk about the gameplay now. Like I said, it is peak. The combat itself, the gore, dismemberment, all the weapons, it was amazing. The combat is a massive improvement over the first game, and I already loved the first game's combat. In this game, I felt like I could be more aggressive, which was great, and once again, Ryu's moveset is wild. He's got plenty of returning and new moves that he can use, all being insanely satisfying. Obviously, when you upgrade the weapons, you get access to more stuff, and a load of these combos are just so fun to do. Like the Wolverine claws, for example. Yes, this game has Wolverine claws. There are combos that when you upgrade them, you can just hit your enemies with a barrage of kicks. It is wild. Or there's one where you like dash around the place and end up ripping your enemy's heart out. It is so sick. Or even the returning weapons get plenty of upgrades. Like the Dragon Sword, you get an upgrade where you can dash in the air like in the first game, but then you can follow up with a second one really fast. It is so good. And the charge up attacks when you hold triangle were so much better than in the first game too. Ryu just goes absolutely wild on the enemy and it looks so flashy and satisfying. This game also has a crap load of weapons to choose from, plenty returning from the first game like the Dragon Sword, Flail, Lunar Staff, all which I ended up using more than in the first game actually. But the new weapons! The new weapons! Wolverine Claws, a Scythe, Genshin Sword, these comically large tonfas. No, seriously, I was baffled when I first saw their size. But I had a blast using all of them. My favorites were the Wolverine Claws. The moment I got them, I basically never took them off. But I used a load of different weapons in the game, which contradicts the sentence that I said just 3 seconds ago, but forget it. I stuck with the Scythe for a while because, come on, it is sick. And the Tonfas I just found really fun and useful against like big enemies and stuff. And also the sound effects they make are really satisfying. The flail I used a good bit too, just like in the first game. It's really useful against big crowds of enemies. And one of my favorite things they added was the feature of being able to Izuna drop using every weapon. As I believe that in the first game you could only do it with the dragon sword, or at least that's what I was only able to do. Well, here every weapon had it, or at least an equivalent of it, so that was so fun. But seriously though, the weapon selection in this game is great, and the amazing sound design helped too. The sound effects on the weapons are awesome. It feels so satisfying to just even hit a guy. Again, in the first game I mostly just used the dragon sword. Here I used pretty much everything. The range attacks also have improved from the first game in my opinion, because first of all, you can now have shurikens equipped at all times, while in the first game you had to switch them out if you wanted to use the bow. But then in this game you can have both shurikens and a bow, or a massive gun that I found, as your other range weapons. The gun I didn't really like and used it like 3 times, but the bow was sick. And my god, am I glad the aiming mode in this game is fixed, because it was horrible in the first game. In the first, it will put you into first person, have a really dog water camera. Here it zooms in on you and keeps you in third person, and it just feels way better to use here. Now this might be a Ninja Gaiden 2 Black thing. I don't know how it feels in Sigma, because I've never played it, but the bow felt great here. Next up I want to talk about the Ninpo, because it is really good in this game, and it is also OP as hell. The one I used the most was the wind one, where it decapitates everyone around me. I found it really useful in fights against bigger enemies. If I got overwhelmed or something, I just popped a Ninpo. They're all limbless now, I get to kill them. I used Inferno on boss fights a good bit, because I felt like that was the best one for those. I didn't really use the other two though. I didn't like the weird bird one, and didn't really switch to the void one. I don't know. But yeah, the wind Ninpo I use the most. Then I want to talk about the dismemberment, because first of all, it is sick and it's really cool on how it works. You deal enough damage to a guy, you will be able to cut off one of the limbs. And when you dismember a dude, you can just walk up to them and one-shot them by pressing triangle and do a badass finisher on them, where you slice off their head or split them in half or something like that. It is so good. Now that might seem a bit OP, you might think. Yes it is. But obviously with this being Ninja Gaiden, there's some sort of compensation. Once you cut off their limb, you can go perform the finisher, but during the period where they don't have an arm or whatever, they become even more dangerous, as they will attempt to take you out with them basically. They can like grab you and then use a bomb or something to blow up and take a crap load of health from you. It won't kill you, unless it will, but you will lose a lot of health. It is so satisfying getting the finisher though. There's also a new mechanic that is tied to the health bar. Basically, if you have a full health bar, but then someone beats the ever-living life out of you, your health bar will go down. I just blew your mind. But you will also see a red bar start covering the part of the bar where the health is lost. And after each fight your health refills, but only until it reaches the start of the red bar. It will not go over it. So basically, if the red bar takes over half my health, I can only heal halfway after a fight. And you can only get rid of the red bar using healing items or at a save point. And I think that's a pretty neat feature, as it gets the player to lock in when in low HP. I really like that. And overall, I love the gameplay of this game. I think it was fantastic. Now, this game also has 3 other playable characters. You play them for 1 mission each. And there's also a mode where you can play as them, but you know. Rachel makes her return from the first game, first of all. She has a gun this time around. It replaces the grappling hook from the first game, which I don't mind. I think I prefer the gun. And her moveset is expanded on too. She still has 1 weapon only, but yeah, she's pretty fun here. Then there's Momiji, who's got like a spear, I don't know what you call that, and a bow. And she's okay. She doesn't feel as good, and I'm not really big on her moveset. I just don't think I'm the biggest fan of the weapon she's using and how it feels. But she does get the job done. And then there's also Ayane, and she's great. I love playing her. She has daggers which are really fast and satisfying, plus she gets her own Izuna drop, or a variant of it, which, you know, definitely bumps her up a few points. But okay, next up I want to talk about the enemy design in this game, and for the most part, I love the enemies and, you know, killing them. Of course, you got your cannon fodder dudes like the small fiends and the black spider ninjas, which I did find easier to fight than in the first game. There was a load of different fun enemies in this game to fight. Like, there were these... Okay, yeah, I don't know how to describe this contraption, but I found them really fun to fight. They have like blades for hands and they use their tails, so learning their patterns and countering them was really fun. Or there's these wolf guys too, which are too big to launch in the air, so you just have to like keep them on the ground and wail on them till you can slice their limbs off. They're hella fun to fight. Or these guys, which remind me of the enemies from the first game with that thing they're holding. They're slow, but they do a lot of damage. Then there's also a few things that you can only kill with the bow because they're out of range, or you have to use the bow to knock them down, which is cool. I didn't mind that. Not my favorite enemy types, but still. But of course, there's also a lot of really annoying enemies too. For instance, the fish. make their grand return from the first game. Yay! I still hate them. But at least in this game they were a tad less annoying. The flail got the job done nicely on them. Then there's guys with explosives, and at first I didn't mind them, always took them out first. Sometimes you could only do it with the bow and that was fine. But man, in the second half of the game, these guys get so obnoxious, so annoying. The game starts throwing so many of them at you. I mean, look at this. I'm here jumping on the water with RPGs being fired at my direction from everywhere. This got so annoying. But yeah, overall, majority of the enemies were great. Some of them I did find annoying, especially the RPG guys. Next, I'm gonna talk about the boss fights, and I want to start with this. I don't think there was ever a boss fight that I got stuck on for more than 6 attempts. This is going back to the this game is way easier point, but yeah, back in the first game I'd get stuck on a boss and I'd end up quitting and just leaving it until the next day. While here they all felt much easier. Now with that said, all of them were still really good. A bunch I didn't really like, and I don't think I hated any of the bosses as much as I did some of the ones in the first game. Looking at you, worms. But at the same time, I don't think that the bosses in this game were also as good as in the first, if you know what I mean. I still think they're good and fun, but the best bosses in Ninja Gaiden 1 I found to be more enjoyable and fun to learn than the best bosses in Ninja Gaiden 2. But okay, I want to name some bosses in specific. Genshin was great, kept you on your guard, gotta watch out for his sword combos and dash attacks. His fight was great, even if it did bug out on me a couple of times. Vol's first fight was also really good, and the beatdown on the other werewolves at the end with your new sight makes it even better. The second fight is okay, but I prefer the first. And yes, there are a few bosses you gotta fight multiple times, like Alexi and Zidonius, which are decent fights too. Marbus also makes a comeback from the first game, and gets wrecked twice. I prefer the second fight though, mainly because you actually play as Ryu. But man, some boss fights like this water dragon just sucked. He was so annoying and he constantly summoned those damn fish to attack you. This gigapede looking thing also didn't like because you had to fight it the Devil May Cry 2 way, aka spamming projectiles while it's just flying around the place. Oh, and the final boss fight was atrocious. It was garbage. The first phase was literally just blast him with a big ass gun, do some parkour, repeat a few times. It was horrible, just horrible. The second phase at least was a bit better because it was an actual beatdown, but still not that good. There was also a couple of bosses that were just really big monsters that you fight, and yeah, those were pretty cool. This turtle guy explodes once you take out its health bar and steals so much of your health. So if you don't dodge or don't have a sufficient amount of health, you will die. Oh, and one more thing that I want to add is that I love that they added that feature that lets you restart from the boss fight instead of the last checkpoint. Because some of the runbacks in the first game got really annoying. So I'm glad they added this option for this game. But yeah, overall the bosses were pretty good. Some were really bad. But I do think that the best bosses in the first game were better than the best ones in this one. And the worst bosses in one were worse than the worst bosses here, if you know what I mean. Alright, level design up next, last thing I want to talk about. And first of all, oh my god, this game looks absolutely stunning. I know it's a remaster or a remake, I don't even know. But man, this game is beautiful, especially when you're in the city areas. It looks breathtaking. And you know I mean it since I'm using words that have more than 5 letters in them. Man, the opening level is peak. You're going through Tokyo, doing parkour, killing black spider dudes to save Sonia, and it's great and beautiful to look at. It is insanely fun to play too, and the game for the most part keeps up the same level of quality design throughout the whole thing. You go through places like the city, Hayabusa village, a massive military plane that you have to blow up, a castle, this place, a town covered in snow during an ongoing war, a swamp, yeah. And of course, I cannot forget about the iconic staircase with just an insane amount of dudes constantly spawning coming at you. Seriously. Okay, you can stop now, Jesus. And yeah, for the most part, I love the levels. There isn't a single level that I full on disliked. There are parts of levels I didn't like the beginning of chapter 12 or the swimming section in chapter 6. But other than that, yeah, I love the levels. I mean, come on, I'm literally running around the plane trying to wreck it. And this game is also more linear than the first one. You can't backtrack. It's kind of like comparing Devil May Cry 4 to Devil May Cry 5. Like in DMC4, everywhere you're allowed to play in is like part of one whole map. So like if you're in mission 7 or something, you can return to the area from mission 2 whenever you feel like it almost. Well, in Devil May Cry 5, you cannot do that because all the missions are in like completely different areas. So it's kind of like that. And this game also focuses on the puzzles less and more on the combat, and I am completely fine with that. The parkour in this also feels way better, the swimming still sucks, and the checkpoints also work the same way they did in the first game. You gotta walk up to a save point and then save that way, there's no autosaves. But this game also lets you save at the end of each level, and I talked about this earlier, but again, I'm very happy I was allowed to reset from boss fights and not the checkpoint before that. I really like that. And yeah, what else is there to say? The levels are fantastic in my opinion. And yeah, overall, I love this game. Between this and the first one, this is my favorite one so far. The combat is fantastic, the story is fun, the enemies are mostly great, the bosses are pretty good, some are bad though, and the level design is amazing. It's a lot easier than the first game, but I'm sure Master Ninja will fix that. If you haven't played this, then do it. It's amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm obviously gonna do a review of Ninja Gaiden 3 soon enough. If you of course enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.